Hello and welcome to a double recap of 90 Day Fiance the Other Way, episode 21, The Cost of Love, and episode 22, Never Stop Fighting. Okay, we jump back in with Jenny and Sumit, along with Amit and Shri, Sumit's brother and sister-in-law. And by the way, I don't usually tell you things outside of what's seen on the show, but Shri is very close friends with Sumit's ex-wife. So just to let you know that even though she's very sweet and she's behaving very kindly, I think she might have a little bias against Jenny. So anyway, all right, so we are once again returning to Jenny saying, change everything you believe about the world, God, culture, family. You got to change it all. You got to change it all for me. I love him. I love this man. We got to change thousands of years of Indian culture because this is the love of my life. I'm not giving up. And then she says, look at him. Look at him. He's happy. He's happy. People, does Sumit look happy? Do you? No, he does not look happy. Okay. Amit says, look, love is not everything. Mom and dad are going to disown you. You're going to lose your parents, effectively. And Shri says, you know, you've got to tell them if you're having an engagement ceremony, a ring ceremony tomorrow, you have to tell them before they find out from someone else. That would be the worst possible scenario in their minds. Jenny, of course, wants to keep it from him. No, why? Why? This is just love. It's love between Sumit and I. No one else matters. Sumit decides that he will tell them. But she's the one who blurted out that they were having an engagement ceremony to Amit. So, Jenny, if you just kept your mouth shut, maybe he would have just gone ahead with it. But now that his brother reminds him, oh my God, if you do this and don't tell them before you do it and they find out after the ring ceremony, there will be hell to pay. Okay. Yeah, Sumit is just very weak. He's not a strong man at all. He is a boy. Okay, now suddenly Sumit wants to postpone the ring ceremony until he actually has time to speak to his parents face to face. Ideally, he would like to speak to his parents face to face with Jenny. Oh, that'll go well. Yeah, Jenny, you have no rights here. You have no standing, as they say in the law. You have no standing. You're fighting against something that is so much bigger than you, and you're destroying a family, which is everything. You know, in India, they say a guest is God, but yeah, family is also God. It's your karma. It's everything. It's how you're judged at the end of your life, how you took care of your parents, how you treated your family. So, all right. You need to go back to Palm Springs. I know that's, you know. Now we know more about Jenny. Jenny is not that sweet older woman we thought she was in the beginning. She's stubborn and she's insanely selfish. She's one of the most selfish characters I've seen on this show, and that's saying a lot. Okay, you know, and Sumit here is full of shit. Look, he knows that nothing that he can ever say is going to change his parents' mind. So I don't know why he's even going to go through this charade of taking Jenny to the parents' house and speaking to them and telling them that they're getting engaged and asking for their blessing again. You're not going to get it. I don't know if it's just, I mean, do you just want to prolong your TV fame? What are you doing? I'm not saying that at some point you might not, or to a certain extent, you might not be in love with Jenny for whatever reason, but the fact is, at this point, you know this is not happening. You're not getting engaged. You're not getting married. This is not your future. It's not your future. So I hope everything that you're doing to your mom and dad and your family is worth your TV fame, your few minutes of TV fame. because I don't see you having a big career in entertainment after this. I see you, yeah, never mind. I was going to say something mean. All right. Okay. So they will go and they will see the parents. All right. Okay. Bye, Brittany and Yazan. Bye. Okay, Ariela and Biniyam. We're now back in Addis Ababa, and Mom is going home, Janice is going home, Dad already left. You know, I'm noticing really the love on Biniyam's face when he's holding Avi, when he's holding his baby. He's just, oh, you know, he's so excited. He's so excited to have a new baby. And he really seems to love Janice now too. It's really sweet. He really does seem fond of her. So, Janice tells Ariela on the way to the airport that she does not think Ethiopia or Addis Ababa is the correct place for Avi to grow up. She also worries that Ariela and Biniyam fight all the time. So anyway, there's a little bit more discussion about the baptism. You got to let that go. Again, just if you don't believe in it, it's a little water, honestly. You can still, you know, there are synagogues in Addis. There are famously, there are Ethiopian Jews, some of the oldest groups of Jews anywhere outside of the Holy Land. And yes, they have synagogues, they have rabbis. Avi can absolutely go to Hebrew school. You know, his mother is Jewish, so as far as the rabbis are concerned, he is 100% Jewish. It doesn't matter if he was baptized or not. They don't care. They'd be like, well, once a Jew, always a Jew, and they'd be happy to give him Hebrew school classes and prepare him for bar mitzvah. And you know what? Biniyam can do that for Ariela. It's not like it's anything that's not in the Christian faith. Anything that Jews do is part of the Old Testament, as the Christians say. It's part of your faith. Nothing that they do is going to brainwash him against, you know, Orthodox Christianity. Except for the little part about not having any other gods, because Jesus is worshipped as a god. Especially in the Orthodox faith, because there's no Holy Trinity. So it's not like it's one, you know, one. We don't have to go into that. Anyway. All right. And the thing is, you know, like I'm a good example. I have full training in both faiths. Well, Catholicism, Roman Catholicism, not Eastern Orthodox faith. But I've been through all the sacraments, every sacrament except extreme unction, which is when you die. I've done every sacrament that there is in the Catholic faith. And then I made an Orthodox conversion. I studied for 2 years. I went to the Best Din. I went to the mikveh with the 3 rabbis and all that. And then since then, I've gone through every ceremony, everything that's part of being a Jew. So I have a full education and grounding in both faiths. They don't cancel each other out. I mean, they don't, other than the, you know, I can't see Jesus as God anymore. I see God as God. I see Jesus as like an awesome rabbi. You know, as like the best rabbi, an incredible teacher, a holy man. But other than that, I don't find them incompatible, and I feel extremely enriched by both. When I first converted, it was a little bit, you know, just little things like stopping, you know, Christmas and the holidays and all the things that you don't realize are so much of a part of our life. But after so many years, so then I became a little bit abrupt and was like, no, I didn't want to have anything to do with Christianity. I didn't even want to go inside a church. Now I'm like, oh my God, yeah, let me go visit a beautiful cathedral. I'll even light a candle. I'll ask friends who are Catholic, you know, to say a prayer for me, or my mom, or whatever. So yeah, there's no problem. You know, and right now I'm learning a lot about Hinduism and Sikhism. I mean, okay, like I just realized, Exhibit A. Okay. Mora's wrist. Okay. This is a holy string from the biggest Hindu temple in the world. It's in a suburb of Delhi. It's called Akshardham, and it's a temple dedicated to an avatar of Vishnu, the god Vishnu, the preserver god. Okay. Then we have Terevane Sarvatavale. This is Sikh. This is from the Sikh religion. It's an expression that they say a lot, which means peace and order, all peace and order in heaven as on earth In other words, like just a prayer for peace and order and stability, and everyone getting along. Okay, then we have Black Lives Matter, which is not coming off until they do matter. Oh, by the way, none of these ever come off. And then this is a kara. This is a Sikh. All Sikhs wear this on their right. Or if you're left-handed, you wear it on your left hand. I'm right-handed, so I wear it on my right hand. And it's a symbol of just, again, the kind of continuity and the connection of the universe and God and the people. And Sikhs don't believe that you have to be just their religion. In other words, you can be Hindu and practice Sikhism. You can be any religion and practice Sikhism. It follows a great guru, Guru Nanak, and whose teachings are beautiful. They're so beautiful. So it doesn't interfere with anything else. Buddhism is not contrary to Hinduism because Hindus see Buddha as an avatar or a reincarnation, again, of the god Vishnu, one of the three primary gods in Hinduism. And then finally, all of the gods in Hinduism are not separate. There's only one god, Bhagwan. And all these different gods that you see, all these different idols that look so strange to us as Westerners, they're all just different faces of God. In other words, sometimes God needs to be a woman. Sometimes he needs to look, he has different faces. But there's only one God. That's one thing that I feel very strongly about, even though you wouldn't know it to look around my house, because again, you'd see as a Christian or as a Jew that I have what you would call idols. I see them as faces of God. I'm not going to edit this out, even though it's long, because I think it's important. I think a lot of people don't know that. Okay, back to the show. Okay, now we're not going to cover Dull and Duller. We're not going to cover Tim and Melissa. This is the end of them anyway. I think he's going back, I guess. We're not going to cover Cloud Chaser and Victim, although, and again, I usually don't say things from outside the show, but I did find out that in fact, Yazan originally did want to come to America. So there might be a little bit more than just love for this crazy, gorgeous American bombshell. He might also have had the goal to be on TV and possibly come and live in America, even though certainly he seems like he's getting a terrible deal. And then it's also been suggested that maybe the whole honor killing thing is maybe being played up to, well, number one, for the drama of the show, and number two, to keep Brittany, to keep his kind of, hold on Brittany. I don't know. I mean, it is possible. Honor killings are a thing. They're usually done to women, but certainly if a man greatly dishonors one of these families that have a tribal background, that are Arab, it's possible. It is possible. It's certainly possible they would throw him out and cut him off, for sure. Kill him? Maybe. Maybe. Again, much more commonly you hear about women being killed in honor killings. Okay, and by the way, it's not in the Quran. It's not supposed to be a thing in Islam. Just so you know, don't think that that's a thing in Islam, like a part of the creed, part of the basic text of the Quran. Okay, educational segment here. All right. Okay, so, okay, I misunderstood. I thought that they were going to Mom and Dad's house, but actually Mom and Dad are coming over to their house. And Jenny is cooking. She's making kheer, which is an Indian dessert, which is delicious. It's like a pudding. And it looks like she's carrying it off. These Indian desserts are not easy. They're very complicated. They have very complex tastes, a lot of ingredients, and I'm impressed. Indian cooking, I let others do it for me. The ingredients list for an Indian recipe, it's always like 30 things. It's a lot of work. Okay, all right. So Jenny hasn't seen Sumit's parents since they barged into the apartment last year in that ugly scene. Oh, by the way, I noticed in their house, nice refrigerator. That's a nice refrigerator in India. They also have a really nice big portable AC. You guys, like I said, the house is nice. Again, they try to play it up for TV that, oh, India is so awful and poor and that this was such a terrible house. Maybe they did have to do some fixing up, but I'm telling you, by Indian standards, that's a nice house. Not a fancy house, but it's a very decent house. Okay, here come Mom and Dad in a tuk-tuk. Okay. I don't like tuk-tuks, by the way. That's one thing about India that I do not embrace. I only ride in them when my friend Manjari shames me into riding them because she says I'm being too bougie. But I am bougie. I know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can be, you know, rough it. I can absolutely rough it. I can rough camp. I have rough camped all over the world. But, you know, when I'm in a city, you don't have to rough it. So, why? All right, but anyway, yeah, just so you know, I mean, tuk-tuks are so cute and colorful in the movies, but they're loud, they're uncomfortable, they're bouncy, you choke on the exhaust fumes, it's not fun. In a big city, a tuk-tuk is not fun. Okay, oh yeah, as the parents come in, I can see this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I could just feel it. It's all gonna work out. All right, now I am preparing to scream at the computer monitor because I know what's coming. I know what mom and dad are gonna say, and I know what Jenny's selfish answers are gonna be. So let's take a deep breath. Mom says she has come there to take Sumit home with her. Jenny obviously, you know, doesn't understand Hindi. She doesn't seem to have learned any at all, even though she's been there off and on for years. You know, come on, you can learn a little. So not knowing what the mother just said, that I'm coming to take you home with me and get you out of here and get you away from this woman. Jenny just greets them with a huge smile, a big old shit-eating grin. Hi, like what? Like they're going to embrace her. And then we find out Jenny last talked to them 8 years ago. Holy crap, the timeline of this story has been such a lie. 90 Day Fiance, can you not be a little more honest with us? I mean, this whole timeline is bullshit. 8 years ago was when she came over to see him for the first time. If you really go back and if you watch the whole Jenny and Sumit story over again from the beginning, you'd be like, oh, wait, no, that's not the way. No, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. So it makes you suspect a lot. Okay. Okay, so Sumit cannot make eye contact because he's the weakest man alive. He says he's not going home though. And finally he does meet their eyes. And he's like, no, I'm not going back with you. I'm not leaving Jenny. He said, you know, I went to a lawyer and they told me you don't have the right to object legally. But he does want to convince them. He wants their permission. Mom says no, because mom's in charge. Mom says no, absolutely no, no permission. There is no law above parents' law. That's pretty true in this culture. Yeah. Then they say over our dead bodies. Okay, now we're gonna skip over bullshit, and I don't care, and go over to the next segment, which is Ariela and Biniyam. The bullshit is not Jenny and Sumit. The bullshit is one of the couples that we're not covering. And now it is, yeah, back in Ethiopia, and it's the baptism. Ariela is nervous. Biniyam is even more nervous because he's afraid she's going to freak out like she did at the hospital when they went to circumcise the baby and she grabbed the baby and ran out with him. But she knows that this is about him. She's not, I mean, she is not essentially like a rotten, selfish, spoiled person. She's not. I mean, she's whiny. She worries too much. She can be annoying, but no, basically, I mean, she's not a bad person. These two are, they're, especially by the standard of 90 Day Fiance, they are fine people. They are very fine people, as someone would say. Okay, oh, Ariela looks really cute in the, you know, kind of traditional dress. And the priest Avi gives the baby a baptismal name. Tibebe Selassie is his Ethiopian name now. It's cool. Wow, they take off all the baby's clothes for the baptism. Little naked baby going to the baptismal font. That's different. Water is poured over him. In the font. It's not like a Catholic baptism where they kind of take a little, you know, this little sort of thing and pour gently over the baby's forehead. No, he's getting a good soaking, but he's not being dunked. You know, they're pouring water on him. Then holy oil is rubbed all over his little naked baby body. And he's like, I'm sure not appreciating it, wondering what the hell is going on. But anyway, baby is Biniyam, not the baby. Biniyam is so appreciative. He's so thrilled that Ariela is, you know, is doing this for him. And then this is really nice. Now we have a party and the whole family seems to really be embracing Ariela. They're so happy. They're overjoyed. There's a party, and this is nice because this is the first time we see where there will be a connection between Ariela and her sisters. You know, you know, even though they've been a little bit prickly toward her, I think part of it is because they're worried about him because he's been through this before, remember? And he loved his American wife and he loved his half American baby, and they were taken away from him and went back to the States without him, and he can't go there. So, cutest thing, they have a big table-sized piece of injera bread. I don't know if you've ever been to an Ethiopian restaurant, but go. The food is amazing. You eat with your fingers, but you mostly use this injera bread. It's like very thin, soft bread, and you tear off a piece and you scoop the food with it. It's lovely. And they take this big piece of injera bread and they wrap the baby in the injera. And Ariela says, oh, it's a baby sandwich, which is so cute. I'm loving this part. I mean, I have to say, honestly, Ariela and Biniyam Ariela and Biniyam and Kenneth and Armando have just made this season for me in the middle of a lot of idiocy. And that's what gives me hope for the show. You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to cover every 90 day. I have seen the Meet the Couples for the next season of regular old 90 Day Fiance, and I'm not going to be covering it. There's 3 couples that have already been on the show that I don't find interesting, or I find them very annoying. And then there's 3 new couples that they don't interest me. And remember, in order to do these recaps, you know, I have to be into it. My heart has to be there. I have to be excited, or else you're going to get this from me, which is why I've had to fire certain cast members from this season of The Other Way. I will cover, I'm sure there will be other, you know, Before the 90 Days and The Other Way, which I'm sure I will cover. And I'm going to go back from the very beginning about, well, not the very beginning for recaps, but I'm going to do the story of all the people on the show Southern Charm, and then we're going to start going through all of the episodes. We've already had several episodes, but I haven't had time to cover everything, so I'm going to get into Southern Charm. And hopefully, if you're not into Southern Charm, I'm going to make you get into Southern Charm because I think it's a great show. Love that show. Okay, back to Jenny and Sumit. Oh, there's a whole lot of drama and yelling now. Surprise, surprise. Mom looks at Jenny and says, if you marry him, we are dead. Jenny says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Sumit says, what about my happiness? They bring up everything. She's too old. There will be no kids. She lied to us and was acting like our guest and the friend of Sumit's mother while she was sleeping with you. And then they said, you know, really, if you want so badly to marry an American, this is the only one you can find? Look harder, the dad said that. Ouch. This is the only American you can find. Look harder. Because I'm telling you, it's her age. It's Jenny's age. They will make it work. A mixed marriage, they will absolutely make work. An Indian family will bring in a foreigner if the foreigner is willing to play by the rules. It's a very strong culture and tradition. And if it's a young woman who's going to give them, what? Grandbabies. And as soon as that first grandchild shows up, suddenly she's 100% part of the family and everything's cool. All right. And Sumit, again, is like, love, I love her so much. I love her so much. I love her so much. And the parents don't care. They don't care. Mom then directs her plea to Jenny, please leave him alone. And again, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, Jenny's having to wait for every word to be translated. Dude, 8 years? 8 years you couldn't learn some Hindi? It's not Chinese. It's not the hardest language in the world. just because it has a different alphabet, people think it's an incredibly difficult language. Trust me, anyone with half a brain, if you put your mind to it, you can pick up some Hindi. All right, the parents say they're ashamed that in the eyes of their friends, their neighbors, their family, they look like idiots. We've got this son, you know, with this ancient woman that he's giving up everything for in order to be with her. So now Sumit uselessly gets down on his knees and begs them. You can beg and cry, you can beg and cry, you can beg and cry, you can't crack an Indian mother. Now Jenny wanders out of the room and dramatically says, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this as a family, I just need to go back to America. She doesn't mean that. She's saying it in that second, but trust me, she does not mean it. She's a dog with a bone. She's never giving up Sumit. I mean, well, until eventually she has to, I guess, but like she can't get a visa or something like that. But anyway, okay, yeah, but she's too selfish. There's no way she'll stick to that. In that moment, she's saying, I can't do this to the family. You don't care, Jenny. You don't care. All right, now we're on the next episode. See how quick it is when you kind of take out the garbage. I shouldn't say take out the garbage. When you take out the insignificant couples and you only talk about the interesting ones. All right. Okay, so we jump back in with Sumit, who's now being a bit of a drama queen. And Jenny once again says, I can't be the cause of all this. I can't be the cause of all this. I can't take it. Yeah, you will. You will be the cause of it. You don't care. You don't care if his parents will never talk to him again. They disown him, whatever. You don't care. All you care about is yourself, you and Sumit. You know, I now see Jenny as so fake, as so manipulative. And I loved her so much in the beginning. I thought she was such a lovely lady, and I just, I don't like her at all. And you know, she says, well, this is not the end of the damn world. Why are they acting like this? It's not the end of the world. Yeah, it is. For them, it is. Their son will be dead to them. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the world. Okay, yeah, she has no sense of cultural relativity or sensitivity. She's just like, the whole world should be, you know, like America. And anyway, I feel like Sumit's drama, the crying, the begging and all that, I feel like he's putting on a show. He's putting on a show for Jenny, and he's putting on a show for TLC. But he's never had any intention of marrying her. He has no intention of destroying his karma, blowing it to smithereens by turning his back on his parents. Folks, he never has had the intention, and he never will. Okay, and then he says, I will not come back to your house. That he's so angry with him, I will never come back to your house. Even if she leaves me and I'm alone, I will never come back to your house. This makes me sick to my stomach, because again, for Indian parents to hear their child say this, it's like he's slapping them. It's bad. Okay, and you know, Mom is justified. She says to Jenny, do you like this? Are you want, you know, my son, who is younger than your daughter? This is the man you want? This is the man you've chosen? Jenny, oh my God, what about when I lived with you and you loved me? You loved me. Yeah, before they found out what a sneaky liar you are. She just kind of brushes all that aside. You know, she conveniently forgets. She has selective memory. Okay, the mom says, you know, and when she says, why were you so kind? Jenny says, why were you so kind to me? Why did you treat me like family? You know, what you had clothes made for me. Why did you do all these things? And the mom says something really interesting. You were a guest in my house. And I think I brought this up before, but in India, a guest is a god. So even if she didn't like Jenny that much, even if she was worried about Jenny, she would still have treated her like that, because a guest in your house is something... It's something precious. And again, your karma is very much dictated by how you treat strangers, how you treat a guest, a visitor, especially a visitor from another country. So that's interesting. It's like kind of like she's saying, it's not necessarily because I liked you, dude. It's because my culture dictates that I have to be really kind and generous to strangers, to visitors. Guest is God. guest is a god. It's an opportunity for an Indian to gain karma points, if you want to look at it that way, because generosity is everything. Oh, by the way, the guest is God thing, I'm not saying it's insincere. I'm not saying that they aren't doing it wholeheartedly. They are very excited to have the opportunity to show generosity and, to show appreciation to guests. And they really are. They do love it. It makes them happy. Giving makes them happy. So it is in no way, don't think I'm saying that it's insincere, that it's just for karma points. No, it's not. It's very sincere. I'm just saying that in some cases they'll do it even if maybe the guest is not necessarily a person that they adore. But in most cases they do. I mean, they're very open-hearted people. Just don't try to marry their sons. Just don't try to be over childbearing age and marry one of their sons. Okay, Jenny asks, what is wrong with these people? They're Indian. Finally, mom begs her again, leave my son alone. Jenny says no. Jenny uses an example of her daughter, and now we have even more reason to dislike Jenny. Jenny said, I didn't like who my daughter was marrying. That wasn't who I wanted for her. I wasn't happy, but I put up with her because it made my daughter happy. So I'm like, oh, all right. She seems like such a cool mom. And all right, I guess that's expecting too much. Not every parent is going to be like, oh, I'm so thrilled that my daughter or son is gay or lesbian, but still, it somehow takes away her cred as a cool mom, as the PFLAG, the parents of, what does PFLAG stand for again? It's the group that's the parents who are supporting their gay children, that was very popular, especially in the 90s. All right, so yes, not so cool after all, not so liberal after all, maybe, but I mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't love her daughter-in-law now, she does, but so at first she was like, oh, I don't really want you to, bummer, you're gonna marry a woman? Okay, again, whatever. All right, remember that you're saying all these things and you're judging how they're acting, but from their perspective, your behavior is 10 times worse than whatever you're thinking about them. They see you as blowing up, exploding a family, a strong Indian nuclear family. Actually, extended family, I should say. All right, folks. Mom threatens to commit suicide right then and there. She's like, I will kill myself now. Folks, this is a thing. Yeah, in most cases it's probably emotional blackmail and it's not really going to happen, but it could. It has. It's not like normal that it happens all the time, but it's happened. Sometimes it happens as a result of the shame, that they can't handle the shame that they're facing because of these situations. And, it may sound crazy, but like I said, it's a thing. Yeah, I'm going to say that there's probably more than 50% chance that it's just emotional I'm going to say there's a good chance, a majority chance, that it's just emotional blackmail. But because there's that little uncertainty, Sumit can't take responsibility for that. That shuts him down. He wanted to be shut down anyway. Remember, he doesn't want to marry her. He has no intention of marrying her. He will never have any intention of marrying her. This is all just a show. It's a show for us, the audience of 90 Day, and it's a show mostly for Jenny. So he says, okay, I won't marry her, but she'll stay. I'm not sending her back. He said he'll manage citizenship. That's not that easy. He'll find a way to get her a visa, somebody to sponsor her. She'll have to get a job. I think, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not like, oh, just because you're an American and you're in a developing country, they're dying to have you. No, it's actually hard to get a visa. If there's no marriage involved. Or if you're not, going there working for a big multinational company or a big Indian company that wants you for some reason, that needs you, that needs your skills. Okay. Mom says no. No, that's not enough. No, you're not going to marry her, and also she has to go. She has to leave. She has to go home. No, you can't see her anymore. And you know, he says, no, she's going to be my partner. She is going to say. This is interesting because her staying and basically being Sumit's mistress, which is how it would be seen in India, his oddly much older mistress. Mistresses are very common in India, but to have an older mistress like that and not be married and not marry because you're with this older mistress would be very bizarre. Okay, but the thing is, this is a shame, a kind of shame for the family that, yeah, our son, you know, the one who's living with the old American lady, even though is she my age? I think she's my age. She's my age, or she's a couple years older than me, but we're very close in age. But look, by Indian standards, I am an old woman. I'm almost past the chachi, which is auntie phase, and pretty soon I'll be at the dadi, grandma phase. So I'm almost there. Okay, the thing is, so again, this is a shame for the family. This weird situation of him having this much older mistress and not marrying because of her would bring a lot of dishonor on the family. But oddly, that would be less painful than him marrying her. She would just be his weird older white mistress, basically. And mistresses are definitely more tolerated in India. I'm not saying it's great that, you know, the family would be thrilled, but it would be bad, but better than marriage. Okay, so I guess that's where they stand now, that, you know, that they're gonna try and have her stay and be his partner. And, but the parents will not. Mom won't kill herself. Mom tries to push and push and push, know that she has to go, but Dad finally says, no, you know what, he's come halfway. He's not marrying her. It's more than halfway. Leave it there. So, bas, as they say in Hindi, it's enough. Okay, now, Kenneth and Armando. Oh, what a pleasure. Kenneth says quarantine has allowed him to spend a lot of time bonding with Hannah. And, okay, so they are home. And they get their email from Human Rights. Yay, they are approved. So they have this letter that they can take to any civil registry and get a marriage license and then have whatever kind of ceremony they want. They tell Hannah, and she's so happy. Oh, she's so cute. She's so happy in her little Hannah pink room, and she's absolutely thrilled. This whole Kenneth and Armando thing feels so real and so refreshing, and just the real love with this couple. I think there's real love between Ariela and Biniyam too, but this is just deep love, you know, and it has saved the show for me. It really has. The fact that the producers are capable of choosing a Kenneth and Armando and handling this whole situation so beautifully. This is so well produced, all the Kenneth and Armando stuff. Why can't they do this? For those of us who are a little more discerning, why can't they have more couples like this? People love Kenneth and Armando. Why do people have to be, you know, why does it have to be Angela and Michael? I mean, I know why. Different tastes. Americans have different tastes. Okay, so Hannah's so excited, and she says, we're going to be a family forever, right?
She is such a lucky little girl. She is going to be absolutely
And then she says,
just
Kenny will be my real daddy, right?
Lucky little girl.
Okay, now back to Addis Ababa, a little more chaos. It's a huge Ethiopian festival. It's the festival of the baptism of Christ, when Christ goes down to the river and John the Baptist baptizes him. And for some reason, everyone brings their babies. It's not just Ariela and Biniyam bringing Avi. No, all the Ethiopians in this big crowd have their kid. They have all their kids, from the little kids, toddlers, babies, the whole family's there. And so, you know, again, this Orthodox holiday celebrating the baptism of Christ, kind of the main thing about it is that priests spray holy water out of giant hoses all over the crowd, and you want to get that holy water on you. You want to get the holy water on your babies and your children and everybody. It's a blessing. You know, I'm trying to think of the logistics of how they're actually, I'm pretty sure it's just water, but I guess the priest says the water's coming out from the main whatever water line they're using, or the cistern, that the priests are blessing it as it's coming out, because holy water is just water that's been blessed. So I guess they're probably saying prayers as they're spraying it, because I was thinking, wow, where would you get that much holy water? Anyway, so it's very colorful, but it's very, very crowded and people are pushing. There's no hostility or weirdness, but I can see why Ariela would be threatened by it. It's, you know, we as Americans, a lot of times we're not used to being in those kind of situations, although some people are. People that go to music festivals, people that go to Ultra Festival in Miami, they're used to that. She's getting upset. She's getting more and more upset. She's getting more and more uncomfortable. There's pushing, there's shoving, there's very, very strong speakers blaring prayers and music, and which is bad for the baby's ears, which is true. But again, there are a lot of other babies there, but that doesn't mean she has to like it for her baby. So he gets upset with her and says, you know, I feel like her evil spirit is afraid of the holy water. Biniyam. Because she's not Christian, I guess. I don't know, whatever. I mean, look, you can't undo someone's entire religious training, I guess. But yeah, it was a little bit, okay. That's okay, I still love baby, but yeah, that was not a good moment for him. But he is mad. He says Ariela's being really selfish. Now, interestingly, he had a plan at this festival to propose to her. Aha. One of the things that they do at this festival is boys and girls give each other lemons. I guess technically they throw a lemon. A girl can throw a lemon at a guy can throw a lemon at a girl, and that means, hey, I got my eye on you. I'm an ugly winker. I can't do a sexy wink. I've always been an ugly winker. So anyway, so he was going to, since it does have that kind of like, you know, love connection aspect to it, this particular festival, he was going to take the opportunity to propose to her. And he says, well, now I don't know if I want to propose to her. This is just drama for 90 Day Fiance. Of course he's going to propose to her. He's so in love with Ariela, and he's so in love with that baby, and he so wants to keep her there and have his little family in Addis Ababa and not lose them and not lose another family. Of course he's going to propose to her. Spoiler alert. Okay, all right, then we skip Dull and Duller, and actually this is the point where we learn that, I don't know if it's this point in the show, but I wrote in my notes here that this is the point where we find out that initially Yazan did want to come to America. So it might be more than just love on his part. Okay, I mean, nothing wrong with wanting to come to America, but, you know, again, that's another factor. That before we were like, oh no, he's not coming to America. That's not a thing. Anyway, okay, Jenny and Sumit. Back to the battle with mom and dad. Okay, basically, look, Sumit says 50-50 compromise, no marriage, but we are living together. She's the love of my life. Okay, mom and dad leave, and they say basically their son has become American, which is not a good thing for them, that she has just kind of poisoned him. And they're, you know, obviously, of course they're sad. This is not a good outcome for them. It's a terrible outcome for them, but it's a slightly less horrific outcome than him marrying her. So at least they don't have to discuss that anymore. And I wrote, Jenny is a clueless, selfish bitch. And I'm sticking to that. Yeah, like I said, now we see the real Jenny who pretended to be so sweet. Her visa's expiring imminently, so he has to find a sponsor for her. I don't know how he's going to do that. She says if she has to leave again, she's not coming back. Yes, you are. You have nothing else going on in your life. Sumit is your life. So, all right. Back to Kenneth and Armando. Kenneth takes Armando on a surprise date. We all need a Kenneth. We all need a Kenneth. So yeah, he's made a beautiful picnic on the beach. And what's interesting is they're making the point that now Armando and Kenneth are having, clearly, you know, they're drinking champagne. They're celebrating getting their letter from Human Rights saying that they can get married. So they're celebrating. But clearly they're a couple. They're drinking champagne, they're toasting each other, they're on a blanket with a lovely picnic on the beach, and Armando's cool, he's comfortable with it, so he's starting to get used to, you know, people looking at them, whatever. He's really starting to be more open to that. And the fact that they live in Mission now and not San Felipe is much better, because those coastal towns on those sides, like around Ensenada, there would be a lot of gay couples. There would be gay tourist couples. There would be other gay couples. I bet Ensenada even has a gay club for sure. Ensenada is a pretty big city. Yeah. So anyway, or clubs or bars. Not that I'm saying that that's where they're going to be hanging out, but I'm just saying it's a more open-minded part of Mexico. All right. Oh, and this is so sweet. He surprises them by bringing horses. A guy comes leading horses, and they go horseback riding on the beach, which is my favorite. I love to ride. I love to ride on the beach. You know, in America, you really can't do that very many places. I love to ride. So does my husband. And they're both pretty good. They both have experience riding. It's like, oh, okay, they look cute. And is it Kenneth or Armando? Kenneth makes a Brokeback Mountain joke. I wish I could quit you. It's just cute. The whole thing was so adorable. And then I have such a big smile on my face watching this whole part, because I think, you know, there's so many things in the world that we're complaining about right now, but this is something that's gotten better. The world's cultures everywhere are smiling more and understanding that love has nothing to do with someone's sex, with whether they're male or female. Love doesn't understand that. You know, if a man loves a man, a woman loves a woman, a man loves a woman, whatever, love is love. And I just feel like more parts of the world are understanding it. And here in America, where we have so many people who still hate it and fight against it and rail against it, but in general, the numbers are going against them. I think eventually in another generation, it'll just be, it's just life. It's just love. I just want it to be love. You know, there's no like gay, straight. It's just love. All right, we are skipping Dull and Duller, and now we're back to Ariela and Biniyam, who had a huge fight over her wanting to take the baby away from the whole situation, it being too loud, but not really going into the details of the fight. He says, you know what, let's go back to my neighborhood, to his home neighborhood. Let's just go hang out there. So I'm not sure if they go into a shop or into someone's home, one of his sisters, or I mean one of his relatives or friends' houses. But anyway, they're sitting inside. She's holding the baby. She's sitting inside, and they're kind of chilling out. You know, Ariela is a tough chick to handle. She is stubborn, and you know, she can be a little selfish, and she's whiny. But like I said, she's not a bad person. She's just a little harsh, and she doesn't really pick and choose her words very diplomatically. One thing I'm noticing is no one seems to give a shit in Ethiopia about mixed marriages. No one's looking at them funny. They're kind of probably noticing the camera crew, but no one's like, oh, look, a white woman. You know, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, Baby says he's going to go into another part of the celebration where it's crowded. You know, he's going to go on his own. And so Ariela stays with the baby and with his sister Mimi. And then when he comes back to pick her up, she comes outside, and I think he gets down on one knee and he proposes to her, and this is adorable. The ring is inside a lemon. He cut a lemon in half and he opens it up, and the ring is inside, because the tradition is, you know, throwing lemons at the one you love, or to a girl or boy that you're interested in, that you think is hot. So, you know, even if they fight all the time, they love each other so much. They're going to make it. I think they're going to make it. Now watch, they're already divorced again. I don't know about everything, but I think they're going to make it. And she said the crazy day that they just had was a perfect mirror for their relationship. They had a huge fight, followed by a beautiful moment of love and connection at the proposal. Okay, unfortunately, I hate, after the beautiful Kenneth and Armando and Ariela and Biniyam, I have to quickly end with Jenny and Sumit. I'm just going to say that Sumit plans a picnic for her. I'm really annoyed because once again they pick some shitty park. There are these spectacular, beautifully maintained parks in Delhi. Some of them have ancient ruins in them. I mean, they're beautiful parks, and they pick the crappiest park because, again, it seems like 90 Day Fiance just really wants to tell everybody, don't come to India. It sucks. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. So he gives her a promise ring, and boy, low expectations, Jenny. She's super happy. Yay! And then it starts raining, and there's thunder and lightning, and actually rain and thunder and lightning in India are considered good omens. They're considered the sign that the gods are happy. You know, wish I could be more excited about this situation. Again, I used to be for this couple. I used to believe in them. I used to think Jenny was so sweet, but times have changed. So anyway, so that's how it ends. We're gonna assume that he's gonna try and get her a visa, but we basically have all of our resolutions. And yep, I thank you for sticking through this kind of long double recap. And I want to thank you very much, those of you who have subscribed. And please like and comment. Love your comments, and I always answer back. And want you to be very careful and take good care of yourself and be good, but not too good. Love you guys. Bye. Take care.